Look, here's the thing. I want you to imagine a Tuesday, not a special Tuesday. You're at work, your phone buzzes, and it's your bank. Your rent just went through, your card got declined at the gas station that morning, and now there's a $1,200 charge you didn't see coming. Maybe your car needs a repair. Maybe your dog ate something stupid. Maybe your laptop just died mid shift and you've got a deadline tomorrow. You might be thinking, okay, that's just life. Deal with it. But here's what you actually feel: that drop in your stomach, that hot flash of panic, that little voice in your head that says, I can't cover this. What if I really can't cover this? What happens to my stuff? What do I tell my roommate? Am I about to fall behind on everything at once? Now, here's what most people don't realize: they think the problem is the $1,200. It's not. The problem is that one surprise bill has the power to wreck your whole week, your sleep, your focus at work, your mood with the people you love. And they tell themselves, $10,000 in savings won't change anything. That's barely money. Rich people have millions. What's 10 grand going to do for me? Here's the promise I'm going to make you: $10,000 in savings doesn't make you rich. It's not supposed to, but it does something most people never get to feel. It draws a line. On one side of that line, a surprise bill is a crisis. On the other side, it's just an annoyance. And the difference between those two feelings is the entire game we're playing with money. I'm Ryan. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how your life changes once you cross the $10,000 line, not in some fantasy way, in six real, practical, day to day ways that actually matter. And then I'll show you how a totally normal person got there, because I know 10K can sound like a wall. Let's start with the core idea, because everything else builds on it. Money in savings is not wealth. I need you to hear that clearly. $10,000 is not a yacht. It's not early retirement. It's not a mansion. Anyone who tells you 10K makes you rich is selling something, and you should not buy it. But here's the real principle: savings buy you optionality. Optionality is just a fancy word for choices. When you have no savings, every decision in your life is made for you by your bank balance. You take the job you hate because you can't afford a gap between paychecks. You stay in the apartment that's falling apart because moving costs money you don't have. You say yes to the shift you didn't want because saying no means the lights might not get paid. Your life isn't a series of choices, it's a series of emergencies you're reacting to. Savings flip that. They don't make you rich, they make you the one holding the pen. And that shift from life happens to me to I get to choose is the first thing that changes. Everything else on this list grows out of it. Let me give you the math, because I know some of you are skeptical, and you should be. I'm not asking you to trust me, I'm asking you to trust the numbers. Let's say you earn $45,000 a year after tax. That's about $3,750 a month. Most financial advice says keep 3 to 6 months of expenses in emergency savings. For a lot of people, that's somewhere between $9,000 and $18,000. So 10,000 isn't random. It's basically one full year of the average person's surprise costs, or about 3 months of rent and food for most of us. That's the zone where you stop being one bad week away from disaster and start being one bad week you can absorb. Here's the analogy I want you to hold on to. Think of your finances like driving a car down a rough road. No savings is driving with no shock absorbers. Every pothole, every bill, every emergency hits you straight in the spine. You feel all of it. $10,000 is not a wall that stops every problem. It's a shock absorber. The potholes are still out there, but now you feel a bump instead of a snap. And over a year of bumps versus snaps, your whole nervous system is different. And here's a stat that should annoy you a little. The Federal Reserve has found that a huge share of Americans, we're talking roughly 4 in 10, couldn't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing or selling something. $400, not 4,000. 400, a single vet visit, a single car part. That's the line most people are standing on, right at the edge. So when you hit 10,000, you are not just ahead of the game. You are ahead of a massive chunk of the country. That's not bragging. That's just the math. You've built a shock absorber most people are still driving without. Now, here are the 6 ways your life actually changes. I'm going to walk through each one because I want you to be able to picture your own Tuesday after the change. 1. The panic stops. This is the big one. The exact moment your card gets declined or a bill arrives, your body does something different. Before 10K, your heart rate spikes. After, you think, okay, I can handle this, I'll look at it tonight. That 30-second gap between the alert and your reaction, that's peace. And over a year, that's hundreds of moments of calm you didn't have before. People underestimate this because it's invisible, but your body keeps score. 2. You can say no to the bad job, to the overtime you didn't want, to the friend's quick favor that always ends up costing you. When your survival isn't tied to this one paycheck, you get a spine. People notice. Your boss notices. You start negotiating from a place of, I'll be fine either way. And that changes how you're treated in every room you walk into. 3. You negotiate better. Speaking of negotiating, when you're desperate, you take the first offer. When you have a cushion, you can wait for the better one. That's true for jobs, for raises, for cars, for apartments. People who negotiate even a single job offer can add tens of thousands over a career. 10,000 in the bank is what gives you the calm to negotiate at all. You can't ask for more money with a shaky voice and an empty account. The cushion doesn't make you pushy. It makes you patient, and patience is what wins the better deal. 4. You can take smart risks. Want to switch careers? Start the side hustle. Go back to school part-time. Those things are terrifying when you're living on the edge. With 10K, they become experiments instead of gambles. You're not betting your survival, you're betting your growth. That's the difference between stuck and moving. And most people stay stuck not because they lack ideas, but because they lack a cushion to try them. 5. You sleep differently. I don't mean that metaphorically, I mean literally. Money stress is one of the top causes of lost sleep. And lost sleep tanks your focus, your mood, your health, your relationships. People with a real cushion report lower stress and better rest. It's not magic. It's just that your brain stops running the what if loop at 2 in the morning. You close your eyes and the bills are still there tomorrow, but so is the money to handle them. 6. Your money starts working. Here's the part people miss. Once you've got that $10,000 safety net, the next dollar doesn't sit in a drawer. It goes to work. You start investing the surplus instead of hoarding it for survival. That's the moment compound interest becomes your teammate instead of a thing you only read about. 10K saved is the launch pad. The wealth building doesn't start at 10,000, but it can't start before it. Without the cushion, every extra dollar has to stay liquid just in case. With it, your surplus finally has somewhere to grow. Now I can hear some of you. Ryan, this is great, but I can't even save $1,000. 10,000 feels impossible. Why are you talking to me like I'm close? Fair. Let me handle that directly, because I don't want you to click away. This is the exact moment people quit, so I'm going to meet you here. Here's the thing about 10K. It's not a wall, it's a staircase. You don't wake up with $10,000. You wake up with 40, then 200, then 1,000, then 5. The person at 10K was 6 months ago, the person at 0, wondering the exact same thing you are right now. The only difference between you and them is time and repetition, not talent. And the reason to aim at 10,000 specifically, not 1K, not 50K, is that it's the first milestone that actually changes the feeling. $1,000 covers a small surprise. 10,000 covers a season. That's the line where fear stops running your life. So yeah, start where you are, but aim here, because this is the target that changes everything. I'm not going to pretend the staircase is short. I'm going to tell you it's real and it's walkable. Let me give you a real example. Not a fake my friend made millions story, a normal one. There's a guy, call him Marcus, 29 years old, works in a warehouse, rents a small place, brings home about 2,800 a month. 2 years ago, he had 300 bucks in the bank and a constant low-level dread. Every weird car noise meant, is this the one that breaks me? Every group text about a trip meant a quiet no. He wasn't broke, but he was one invoice away from it, and he knew it. He didn't get a raise. He didn't win anything. He did three boring things. He automated $120 a week into savings the day he got paid before he could spend it. He cut two subscriptions he'd forgotten about, 11 bucks a month he never noticed, and he sold a bunch of old stuff online, about $400 in one weekend. Slow, stupid, boring. No overnight win. 18 months later, he's at 10,200. Same job, same rent, same city. But when his transmission died last month, he didn't panic. He paid the 1,400, kept driving, and went to sleep that night like nothing happened. That's the whole point. His life didn't get fancy. It got quiet. And quiet is what most of us are actually chasing. Here's the second one. Faster. A woman I'll call Theresa, 33, a receptionist. She couldn't save a lump sum, so she used the save the raise trick. Every time her hourly rate ticked up by 50 cents, that 50 cents went straight to savings, not lifestyle. 2 years of small raises, none of it spent, plus a tax refund she didn't touch, got her to 10K without ever feeling a pay cut. Different path, same line crossed. The staircase has more than one set of steps. Quick recap, because I want this to stick. At 10K, the panic stops. You can say no. You negotiate better. You take smart risks. You sleep differently. And your money starts working. 6 shifts. None of them make you rich. All of them make you free. Write those 6 down if you need to. They're the whole video in one breath, and they're the reason the staircase is worth climbing. Remember, the goal was never the number. The goal was the feeling on the other side of it. And here's the reframe I want you to leave with. We talk about wealth like it's a number that's always 10 steps ahead. I'll be free when I hit 100 grand. I'll be free when I own a house. I'll be free when the debt's gone. But the truth is, you don't become unpanicable at $1 million. You become unpanicable at 10,000. That word, unpanicable, that's the goal. Not rich, not flashy, just calm. The bills still come, life still happens, cars still break, dogs still eat things, but you're the one holding the pen now, and the pen doesn't shake. If this hit home, hit subscribe. I put out practical, no fluff money stuff every week, saving, investing, getting your income up, all of it, no get rich quick nonsense, and drop a comment. What would your first 10,000 free you from? A job, a fear, a phone call you've been avoiding? I read those, and your answer might be exactly what someone else needed to see today. Go save the first 40 bucks this week. The staircase starts with one step.